Good morning, good morning. It is Friday, the 30th of May, 2025. You're watching Politics Social. You're watching Morning Brew on Politics Social. I'm Graham Hughes. Nice to have you with us. We've got Paula in the chat. We've got Martin Harrow. We've got, I realise my mic's down quite a lot. Is that better? Can you hear me better now? MH sneaking in with an early punt. We've got Diz in there. We've got Anne Phillips, we've got Saz, we've got Jenny Robinson. Hey, if you want to join the chat and try and work your way up the leaderboard somehow, it's voodoo. We don't know how it works, but whatever. Hit the subscribe button, wait for a minute, and you'll be able to join the chat. But please do not be a troll, or we will boot you off. And you won't be able to say anything anymore, so be nice. Today I want to talk about media hypocrisy and the hypocrisy of the right and how that ties into what the tragic events of Monday evening in Liverpool. So approximately 6 o'clock in the evening, after we've been watching the Liverpool tour bus go around the city, I watched the five ways go past. Everyone was setting off flares, couldn't see shit. It literally could have been anyone on top of that bus. So I could have been the Everton team for all I knew. It was bathed in red smoke. Couldn't see anything. Note for next time: ban flares. Just saying. Just say hashtag. Just saying. Like, can we see? There were people out there. Like I was all right. You know, I only just turned up 2 minutes earlier because it was just down the road from where I was staying. But there were people who were camped out there for like the whole morning in the rain. They'd stood out there in the rain with umbrellas, with the kids on their shoulders, waiting for the bus to turn up. And the bus turns up, and you can't see anything except for red smoke because of all the flares. Please don't do that. Please don't do. Next time, maybe don't do that. Anyway, so it was a bank holiday Monday, as you all know, and it was Liverpool's victory parade after they won the Premier League, and that means they've won the top tier of British football, whatever it's called these days, for the 20th time. For the 20th time, which is very, very impressive. A bit more impressive than old Everton, who've only won it 9 times. But, still 9 times more than some other teams. What can I say? So, yes. So on Water Street, which is very, very close to the famous Liver building, it's where the town hall, Liverpool's town hall, is. So you have Dale Street, which goes towards the water, and then when it hits the town hall, a bit continuing on, is called Water Street, and along with Castle Street, James Street, it comprises one of the original streets of Liverpool when it was just a little fishing village. And a Ford Galaxy car was driven through a cordon, allegedly tailgating an ambulance, and it then ploughed into a crowd of Liverpool fans, injuring at least 79 people. 79, like that is just horrific. The amount of damage that one human can do, that one person can do. 27 people hospitalized, including 4 children, and 2 people were seriously injured, one of whom was a child. We are very lucky that no one died. We are incredibly lucky that nobody died in this incident. The victims' ages ranged from 9 to 78 years old. And Merseyside police and the ambulances responded within minutes. I mean, they were already there. And one of the things that the first thing the police did was to release, within 2 hours of the incident happening, they had released the fact that the perpetrator, the alleged perpetrator of this crime, was white, that he was 53 years old, and that he was from Liverpool. It's actually from the West Derby area of Liverpool, which is where I grew up. He's charged with 7 offences as of yesterday, including causing grievous bodily harm with intent, wounding with intent, attempted GBH, including against a child, and dangerous driving. He'll appear at Liverpool's magistrate court today to be formally charged. And the charges are quite severe. He might not ever get out of jail again, but who knows? If he is convicted of this offence. And obviously, we've got to be a little bit careful about what we say, because we all say, yeah, he definitely did it. And, because obviously we can't be seen as, if he decides to deny that he did it, which would be a mad thing to do. But if he does, it will go to a jury trial. I'm hoping that he just says, yeah, it's a fair cop. Everyone saw me do it. It was filmed on 50 different mobile phones. Definitely me. He's not going to get away with it. Put it that way. The police and the CPS are reviewing CCTV, dash cam, and mobile phone footage. And the cordon was finally lifted on Wednesday morning, and people were allowed to drive down the road again. And the way this has been covered by the media has been absolutely disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. Bunty Joy puts it really well in the chat there. Bunty says, so not a Muslim, not a trans person, not a storytelling drag queen. This can't be true. Well, yeah, exactly. 79 injured is a lot more than oops, my foot slipped, says Anne. Yep. And then we've got Rise of the Vikings. Oh, sorry, that's a bit random. For now it's allegedly or suspected of. Yeah. So the suspect has been reported by the media as a father of three, a company director, a former Royal Marine, a nice family man. We've heard about how shocked his neighbours were to find out what had happened. And the media outlets doing this isn't just your right-wing rags like your Sons and your Mail on Sundays and shit. This is actually coming from the Mirror, the BBC, the Independent, the Guardian. And the neighbourly quotes of completely out of character. He helped us when our alarm went off. Lovely family. Boys, well behaved, fantastic guy. Would we be getting this kind of reporting if he was black? Or if he was Muslim? Or if he was trans? Would we fuck? Would we, sorry to demonetize so early on a Friday, but would we fuck? I mean, this is where you got to look at these situations and go, this is hypocrisy. This is rank hypocrisy at its, I'd say finest, but that's not the word I want to use. Most depraved. And it got me thinking about recently, there were two women who were captured because of, they were arrested because of drugs offences, one of which happened in Georgia. And the way it was reported in the press, they would use a glamorous photo of this teenager who was arrested for drugs possession in Georgia. And it talked about the hellhole, the former USSR state, because Georgia used to be part of the USSR, that she was being held in this former USSR jail and the conditions of the jail. And here's a very glamorous photo of her. There was another one recently where a similar thing happened in another country, and there was a picture from her Instagram account of her looking gorgeous and glamorous and awesome. And then there was a black girl, British black girl, who was arrested on something similar in another country. And the picture they used on the front cover of the newspapers was her mugshot. I'll say that again. It was her mugshot. Not a nice picture of her smiling happy on holiday on Instagram or Snapchat or Facebook. No, we're not going to have that. We're going to have her mugshot. And you see this. This is what we talk about when people talk about institutional racism. This is racism. This is xenophobia. This is Islamophobia. This is transphobia baked in to the fabric of our media. The way we report stuff. If this guy had been black, if this guy had been a Muslim, there would have been riots. There would have been riots. One of the reasons why the police released the information that he was white and that he was middle-class, middle-aged guy from Liverpool so quickly was to avoid the meatheads, the skinheads, the Nigel Farage lovers, the refuckers, the UKippers, the Brexiters from going on an alcohol-fueled football yob hooligan. Remember that from the 80s? Yeah, they're back and they all support refuck. Stop them going on a rampage. Stop them going on a riot. Stop them terrorising a community that is already reeling, like what they did in Southport last year. 3 young, beautiful little girls were murdered brutally by a lunatic with a knife. And then what happens? The refuckers turn up, don't they? In Southport. They're bust in. Who paid for that? I don't know. Someone did. Don't think it was them. They don't look their type to have a job. And they came along and they terrorised the children in that community by smashing up garden walls, starting fires, screaming at the police. Children cowering in their homes in Southport. The day after what happened. The day after that dance class, which was beyond any horror that I could imagine. And this is what they do. They turn up and they riot. And they would have done the same in Liverpool. They would have turned up the next day, rioting, kicking off, being outside the oldest mosque in Britain, which is in Liverpool, the end of West Derby Road. They would have been there, like they were last time, kicking off, telling people to get out the country. Paula, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. That seems to have put you into number 1 position. I don't really know how this works still, but thank you very much for that. It's very kind of you. First super chat of the morning. When referring to the accused, remember to use the word alleged. It's important that he gets a fair trial. If it goes to trial, yeah, Paula, you're absolutely right. And that's the point. We'll find out today when he's brought before the magistrates' court in Liverpool. We'll find out if he's going to plead guilty or not guilty. If he pleads not guilty, it'll go to a trial. If he pleads guilty, it won't go to a trial. Doesn't need to. Yuri, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. Racism and two-tier reporting. Absolutely couldn't agree more. And Yvonne, thank you very much for being a member for 5 months. The media need to take a hard look at itself. Absolutely. Oh, I don't know what happened there. That was a bit weird. So what if the driver was black or Muslim or Indian or trans? Would we be hearing how lovely his family is? Would neighbours be interviewed sympathetically? Well, were they in Wales for the guy last year in the Southport attack? Was he? Did we get that for him? I wouldn't want it, but did we get it? No, not even slightly. No one talked about what a lovely guy he was. It didn't happen. Would the press lead with his military service or would they lead with his criminal convictions? Examples can include Mark Duggan, who was framed as a gangster with minimum context. Mark Duggan in 2011, who was shot dead by the police. And look, it wasn't justification for rioting. Absolutely, it wasn't justification for rioting. But what I'm talking about here is the specific framing of how it was talked about in the press. And I think an even better example is Shamima Begum, she's had a lifelong vilification in the media, despite being a child when groomed into sexual slavery by terrorists. And you can imagine what the headlines would have been if she was white. Was it Patty Hearst who joined Baader Meinhof or whatever it was called in Germany and decided to rob a bank? Was that Patty Hearst? Yeah. Things get treated very differently when it's a white woman, when it's a white man. Anyway, so the guy who's alleged to have done this horrific crime in Liverpool, we've done a little bit of research. My friend Aid Thompson has been looking into it. And it turns out he owned the company, which he was the company director for, which folded a few years ago. I don't know if he's in another company. But the Twitter account for that company follows Nigel Farage, Elon Musk, and Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, who's being extradited to the UK as we speak for almost a dozen different charges, a dozen different offences. And this gives the strong implication that he is aligned with anti-woke, far-right, libertarian rhetoric. And so then you've got the Farage connection. Or, the famous MP for Clacton, who's never in Clacton. Infamous for stirring racial resentments, scapegoating minorities, and cajoling the country into imposing economic sanctions on itself. And you see patterns of radicalisation. Farage's rhetoric echoes amongst many of his online followers. And no analysis of Doyle's potential far-right ideology is played as part of his mindset. It didn't say on the front cover of any newspaper, Nigel Farage fan commits horrific act. Reform voter commits horrific act. Didn't happen. Really just didn't happen. And compare this with when, extensive media hand-wringing when a Muslim attacker has references from the Quran on their social media. Just think about it. Think of just the rank hypocrisy of it all. And here's the thing. I'm not saying that they shouldn't necessarily talk about if someone from a minority has been radicalized. I don't have a problem with them mentioning it, but be consistent. Most Muslims in this country are peaceful, law-abiding citizens. The vast majority, 99% of them, are peaceful, law-abiding citizens. And do you know what? 99% of refuck voters are as well. But what happens every fucking time with when it's the brown people, not the white people, is that the entire community is demonized. Whenever a crime occurs and someone is arrested, you have minorities here in this country thinking, please, please, please don't be Muslim. Please don't be Jewish. Please don't be trans. Please don't be gay. Please don't. Because they know that if the attacker, if the murderer, if the alleged person who did that awful thing in the media turns out to be trans, then all trans people will be targeted in a way that we don't target all refuckers. And do you know what? When we talk about the fabric of society, I think refuckers do way more worse damage than people from minorities coming from other countries or with different gender makeup or sexual preferences. I mean, come on. What does more damage to the fabric of this country? People who enrich it? Or people who want to kick down the bridges, burn the bridges with everyone else in the world, stand alone on their own 2 feet? So let's see how well you stand when there's no one here to look after you in your old age. Alistair, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. We need MSM Reform big time to have truthful media to just stop the lies and false statements. Truth getting spread around, Graham. Yes, we do. And this is something that Labour should have got into straight away. We talk about Labour being scared of the fucking tabloids. Well, fucking control the tabloids then. When they lie on the front cover, make it so they get a massive fine and they've got to spend at least a week on the front cover apologising for that lie. You're not allowed any other news. You've just got to apologise for the lie on the front cover of your newspaper. So when the BBC do their newspaper review, they go, and now we're going to go to the Sun. And the front page of this, again tonight, it's going to be about the fact that they lied about something 6 months ago on their front cover of their newspaper. So now the damage that has been done is tried to be undone by the fact that we need the people who read these rags to understand that they are untrustworthy sources, which we could really, really do with. Do is saying. And yeah, I mean, imagine we turn the rhetoric, the poisonous rhetoric that the likes of the refuckers, Nigel Farage, Richard Tice, imagine if we used Tommy Ten Names, who looks like an imam now, ironically. Imagine if we turn their rhetoric back on them. Imagine we said we should send them back, deport them. Clearly a danger to the public, all of them. Let's just look at them as an amorphous blob of homogeneity. Is that even a word? I don't know. I just made it up. I like it though. maybe we can just look at it like that and say we should deport them all. Where should we deport them? I don't know. Maybe to a country that they've never heard of, a country that they probably can't spell, a country that they couldn't possibly point out on the map, a country where they've got no family, no ties, they don't even speak the language. Let's send them back to there. Yeah, it's not sending them back, really, is it? It's just getting rid of them. Like we did to people to Australia, just sent them off to Australia. Yeah, do you remember before that when we sent off the Puritans to America? Didn't want them. They were boring. They're trying to shut down all the theatres, whitewash all our nice churches. They're ripping down statues, tearing up tapestries, motherfuckers. We said, we've had enough of this. We like going to the theatre. We like having a drink. Why don't you all fuck off to America and you can all be religious and weird over there and tell people how they should live their lives while not conforming to any of the rules that you set yourself? Because, not saying all evangelical Christians are massive hypocrites, but oh my God, a lot of them are. A lot of them are. I need a button that says not all evangelical Christians, but you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, what else can we do? Can we shut down the Wetherspoons? I like that idea. Can we shut down the Wetherspoons? Should we do that? I mean, this is where people like that gather and spread their poisonous rhetoric. This is where people say, I'm just talking common sense. Just talking common sense in the pub, in the Wetherspoons, the shitty, soulless pubs with no soul and a big maze to get to the toilet. Yeah, let's go, and it smells of wee. Let's go to Wetherspoons and let's ban white men from city centres on match days. Clearly, they can't be trusted. Clearly, they can't be trusted to act like normal, sensible people when there's a football event happening. Should we do that? Should we ban them from the city centre? Bust them in, bust them out from the stadium. That's all right, but you're not allowed to go to the city centre. How about we put a curfew on ex-Marines? Anyone who's been in the army, just in case, just in case anyone who is now, out of the army and maybe they suffer from some mental health problems, which normally under normal circumstances I'd have a lot of compassion about, but now, no, because you just can't allow people who might do a thing like this. To paraphrase J.K. Rowling, you can't just assume innocence of any particular minority, says the richest author in the world. Can't. Just can't. It's wrong. It's wrong to assume that people are innocent until proven guilty. Or until they plead guilty. Alistair, thank you very much. That's really kind of you. If anyone needs some hugs, here you go. Alistair, thank you. Thank you, my friend. Alistair, I'm giving hugs to anyone who needs it. And Suzanne as well, hugs free. Hugs fee. Hugs fee. Thank you very much, Suzanne. It's really kind of you for the super chat. We were talking when we were in Brighton last week. We were talking about how lovely my the socialists on this channel, on my channel are. You're also nice. It's really affirming to come on here and actually have a chat with people who kind of think the same way. Not about everything, obviously. We will have our disagreements on whether manual is better than automatic and stuff like that. But generally speaking, it's a good crowd. You're a good crowd. Thank you. Thank you for being nice. It's nice to have somewhere nice on the internet because I miss that. Twitter's not nice anymore. When I go on Facebook, I generally don't read the comments. I just write something and then just walk away. I can't be bothered getting into debates with people. And there's always going to be someone who'll slide in, and you don't know them. Say, you're talking rubbish. Nigel Farage is great. I love him. He speaks for the working class. He speaks for the working class. Privately educated posh boy, worked in the city of London, multi-millionaire, has a Coots bank account. After whinging he couldn't have a Coots bank account because it's reserved for multi-millionaires. Wow. Putting the important things first. Hey, listen, I don't know if this is real, okay? And if anyone wants to do a little bit of research to find out for me if this is real, I would absolutely love you forever if you would do that. But if it is real, this is just absolutely mind-blowing. This is something that Darren Grimes apparently put on his, it looks like Twitter account maybe. But I've just got to show you this. I've got to show you. Oh, hang on a sec. I've got to show you this, he says, and then doesn't show you it. Look at this. What is the state of this? Sorry, going on a little bit of a tangent, and I will come to Yuri and Alistair in a moment. Look at this. I'll make it bigger. Darren Grimes. He is the new deputy leader of Durham County Council, probably the biggest county council in the country. It's great to see Alan Bates try his hand at acting, but David Harewood playing Shakespeare. Why? I just let that sit for a moment because the stupid, it burns. Oh my God, it burns. What the fuck? Okay. First of all, it does kind of look like he thinks Shakespeare is a character in Shakespeare's plays because he says David Harewood playing Shakespeare. I mean, wouldn't you say doing Shakespeare if you wanted to be talking about doing a play? Wouldn't it be doing? And then there's the other difficulty here, which is that clearly the movie is Othello. Famously, a play about a black guy, about a Moorish general living in Italy who marries a white woman, Desdemona, much to the chagrin of racist Iago, probably in the middle there, being played by Toby Jones. He doesn't like the idea of black men and white women marrying, and so does everything in his power to drive Othello mad, which he is successful at in the end. What is this black guy doing playing this historically black character? Asks racist dickhead crafty wank knob. This is a guy who is going to be making decisions for the next 4 years about what happens in Durham. My God, what has the world come to? Oh, mate, I just had to show you that. I know it's nothing to do with what we're talking about today, but I saw that this morning and I thought I needed to bring it up. These people walk amongst us. In fact, they don't just walk amongst us. They stride on this across our sphere, the public sphere, like colossi, because they are promoted well beyond their abilities by a network, a mafioso network of old schoolboys. Now, while Darren Grimes didn't go to a private school, he's kind of like, he's been brought in as a pet for the people who did. He's like their working class pet. Come on, lad. You can be our friend. You can be our friend. You can be our little mate. There you go. Here's a £5. Go on, bark like a dog for a £5. Oh, that's really good, Darren. Well done, mate. You absolute tit. Yuri, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. Twitter is the perineum of social media. It really is. You find yourself stuck in that painful position between a load of cunts and a load of assholes. Alistair, just demonetized. Alistair, it's okay. Thank you, chat, in making a great community here. Yes, I agree. I couldn't agree more. Was just listening, but had to rush out over to give and take the hugs. Oh, thanks, SG. Oh, that's so nice. Hugs to everyone. Hugs to everyone. What do you mean, Graham? This struck me as confidential because they don't know. This struck me confidently because they don't know any better, says Suzanne. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know what you're referring to there, but I mean, Darren Brown does it. Darren Brown, fucking hell, Darren Grimes. I just call him crafty. Darren Grimes is Iago, says Anne Phillips. I take it Grimes has not read anything or been educated at all. I don't know. It could be a diss on Dave Harewood only. I don't know. An actor plays a character in a play. Huge news. I care because I don't know. Yes. Anyway, so let's get back to this guy who potentially did this crime on Monday. So using people's own phrasing and then flipping it to a white person, a white middle-class, middle-aged person. I mean, it just shows how absurd and nonsense it is when people paint an entire group of people they tar them with the same brush. And where's Reform now on this? When the Southport attack happened, Nigel Farage was saying, "Oh, what aren't the police telling us? Why aren't they telling us?" Whoa, yeah. On this, silence. No outrage about the victims. No press release that I've seen. And the tone in the media is gentle. It's almost sympathetic. Like a moment of madness, a crime of passion. He drove into 79 fucking people. I'm sorry, but like that is beyond the pale. Maybe if it had just been the case that like he got surrounded by a crowd and he panicked and his foot slipped off the clutch or whatever, and the car bunny hopped forward, but the car stalled. The car stalled on Dale Street, and then it continues into Water Street, and then he started the car again and drove at full speed towards the people in Water Street. Like he picked up speed and rammed into them. And yeah, and this is I don't know whether it was a missed opportunity for Starmer to call out the hypocrisy about all this. Maybe he will once we know all the details. I mean, it'll be a lot easier to talk about this after today, hopefully, if he pleads guilty to the charges. If he doesn't plead guilty, then we've got to sort of tiptoe around it all and say allegedly, he probably didn't do it or whatever. Innocent until proven guilty. Whatever you got to say before someone goes before a jury trial. But we need equal treatment in the media. We need to stop excusing and sanitizing white male violence. If we're not going to do it for the other side, in fact, let's just stop doing it at all. And this isn't about one person who did a horrible thing. This is about systemic media bias against anyone who isn't a white, middle-class, middle-aged, usually a man. Nick and Diff says, Grimes is thick. I know. He's hilariously stupid. Alistair, thank you so much for the 5 Politics Social gift memberships. That's really, really kind of you. Thank you. You are the best. You are the best. You are the best. Paul Ewan has received a gift membership. So Paul, it's been on here a long time. So well done, Paul. Casper Northerner has been given a gift membership. Shola has been given a gift membership. Tolly T and Bradley White have all been given gift memberships from Alistair. Welcome new members to the channel. And if you would like to join the channel, all you need to do is hit the join button if you can see it under the video. And it's only a couple of quid a month, but it means that we get a regular supply of dinero, of greenbacks, of filthy lucre. We've got Anne Phillips as well in the chat who says, Alistair's increasing the member base again, and then the love hearts. Yes, he is, because we love Alistair. And thank you very much, Anne, for being a member for 3 months. And then we got stupid people, they strut around, says Suzanne. Yes, they do. Elle says, some guy on TV yesterday wrote a book called something like The End of Woke. Really, I'm still here. So many others are here, talking like an expert, absolute muppet. Talking of muppets, somebody posted the University of Maryland had the valedictorian speech, or whatever they call it. You know the thing in America where the people who get their degrees, it's like the degree certificate ceremony. They call it something else. Diploma. Do they get a diploma in America? I don't know. They call universities schools, which is very confusing. But then again, we call private schools public schools, whereas they call public schools states. They call state schools public schools. Anyway, they had Kermit the Frog. They had Kermit the Frog doing the speech, the valedictorian speech, or whatever they call it. And it was brilliant. It was brilliant. Honestly, it was lovely. And then at the end, he sang Rainbow Connection and had everyone on their feet singing along. I mean, it was just like a beautiful, beautiful moment. And you had these people on like Fox News in America going, "Oh, Kermit the Frog! Imagine studying for a degree, and then who comes along to talk to you? It's Kermit the Frog, not an innovator, not an inventor, not someone who's changed the fabric of America, not an entrepreneur." And it's like, okay, Jim Henson who invented Kermit the Frog, went to the University of Maryland. And he was an innovator. He was an inventor. He did change the fabric of American society. His legacy lives on, even though he died 35 years ago. I'm sorry, but like, hello? But then what they did on this video is they compared Kermit's speech to the speech that Donald Trump gave at West Point to the cadets who were becoming officers or whatever it was last week, where he was just rabbiting on about a friend of his who had a trophy wife who lived in the south of France for 15 years. And then he got bored and he had a big yacht. He had the biggest yacht you've ever seen. And he just rambled on like Grandpa Simpson while everyone in there was just trying to stifle a yawn. That's why you don't see Trump with people behind him anymore. Remember, you used to see him with people behind him. Too many people were yawning, so they stopped doing that. So now there's no one behind Trump when he's giving his speeches because he just talks absolute nonsense. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all. But people imbue Trump with this magical power. They're like, oh, this, to me, he comes across as a cruel and idiotic, daffy old man. But to them, he's the Messiah, and every word he says is beautiful and amazing. Yeah, let's get into the chat. He reversed into an ambulance and then went forward again, says Martin Harrow. Yeah, I mean, there's no way out of this for him. I mean, if he did it, allegedly. And Joanna, I love this from Joanna. My base spice mix for the curries I make is black pepper, corns, nutmeg, cinnamon, coriander seed, star anise, cardamom pods, green and black, mace, stoneflower, cumin seeds, fenugreek seeds. Fenugreek salad? Fenugreek seeds. They're like licorice, aren't they? Fenugreek, aren't they? That does sound very, very tasty. Joanna, I love making my own curries. Honestly, there is a satisfaction about not getting the spice out of a jar. But to be honest with you, like, it does take a while. You got to grind it all up. You got to make the paste. You got to and get all the ingredients. And you invariably go into the spice cupboard, and you're like, there's something missing. I had to substitute. And then you get online, and you're like, what can I substitute for turmeric? And it's like, you can use this and this, and it tastes nothing like it. But yeah, I love Rainbow Connection, says Al. Everyone loves Rainbow Connection. I mean, what would you rather have? Come on. If you were graduated, would you rather have some stuffy old academic standing at the front saying, oh, just want to say well done to everyone who's passed these exams, and I hope you do really well in the rest of your life? Or would you rather have Kermit the Frog? Come on. Anyone in their right mind would rather have Kermit the Frog. It was brilliant. It was so good. I really recommend going to the University of Maryland, Kermit the Frog. Just type it in and watch it. It's fucking awesome. Goosebumps, my friend. The Kermit speech made it onto Sky News last Friday. Jim Henson, complete legend. Frank Oz too. Frank Oz, yeah, famously the voice of Miss Piggy and Yoda. And once you put those two voices together, you can never separate them. Yeah, Joanna, it's part of the start. It gives a tiny hint of as a background note. I go slightly heavy on the green cardamom, as I like a bit more citrus hint curry. Ooh, that sounds good. I like making a curry, right? Get it really, really spicy. And then at the end, load of coconut yogurt. Don't care. You don't cook it with the coconut. You put it in once it's made. And then once it's on the plate, blob, coconut yogurt. Yeah. Yes! I know you're probably not supposed to do that. I don't know. Maybe you are. I don't know. It's great. Love it. It's almost as good as Crunchy Nut Cornflakes and ice cream, which is the breakfast of champions, as far as I'm concerned. Well, you can't have it every day, or you'll end up the size of a house. Christopher says, Yoda and Kermit, one puppeteer, one voice, the great Frank Oz. Jim Henson's workshop was a huge part of my childhood. Absolutely. I'll be making some Mexican food today. Love me some turkey tacos. Yes, Trump always chickens out. Get some chicken tacos. There's some Trump chicken tacos. Down your blouse. I love making food from scratch, I just think there's a real satisfaction. I'll tell you what, though, having a couple of stepdaughters, the worst thing in the world is when you make something, you spend like 2 hours making this amazing dish, and then one of your stepdaughters or one of your kids just like sort of pushes it away. They like they take one mouth of it and go, and then push it when your heart sinks. Then you're like, more for me. One of them's at that age where everything needs to be brown. Like brown food is good. If you want to make sure she's got to eat the food, you need to. It's got to be chips. It's got to be chicken nuggets or fish fingers or just something bland and brown. Chrissy, thank you very much for the £10 super chat. Why has Doyle only been charged with 7 offences? He injured 79 people, including 4 children. If he was a non-white male, he would have had the book thrown at him and he would have been vilified. I don't know. I could find out for you, Chris, because I do know a magistrate judge in Liverpool, in fact. So I could ask my friend why it was only 7 offences. I assume because those 7 offences include the individual charges, maybe, of, I don't, is that the same thing? Of how many counts. So it would be like you've committed, you're given this charge and then you have so many counts of it or something. I don't know. It's the honest answer. Maybe someone knows in the chat. I don't know. We'll find out after we stop talking about ice cream and crunchy nut cornflakes. Suzanne Casey, thank you very much for the $2. Animal or the chef? Oh, that would have been brilliant. Imagine Animal giving the speech. Animal's the one who plays the drums. When I was a kid, I used to have longer hair, and my dad used to call me Animal from the Muppets. He thought that I looked like Animal from the Muppets. True story. Elle says, a trans voice coach on YouTube. If you work your voice, you could able to do a Kermit and Piggy voice. I already do that. That's brilliant. And Fraggle Rock was the best, says Sarah Davis. Go to Fraggle Rock, grab a Fraggle by his cock, swing around your head. Now the Fraggle's dead. Now the Fraggle's dead. Okay, I'll stop singing now. Good times. There was a Fraggle called Red as well, which is always good. And what were the guys called? The little guys used to build stuff. Were they called doozers? Doozers? Am I just making that up? I tell you what. You know the people who lived at the bottom of the garden. You know there's like those troll people. There's goblin people who lived at the bottom of the garden. What are they called? The Urgs or something. Yeah. Didn't the Mama Urg look like Anne Widdecombe? I'm just saying. Hashtag just saying. If you want a really quick satay, you can use some garlic. Galangal, I don't know what that is. Chili flakes, and very simplified. Paste that. Coconut in pan, heat until, add paste, and add peanut butter. Cook. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of peanut butter though. Gotta say. I mean, I'll eat a satay, and I like peanuts, but I don't know something about peanut butter. I think it's because I had a bad experience with peanut butter when I was much younger. I was on my way to a festival in Brighton many moons ago with a band called Volcanoes of Canada, I think they were called. And I'm in the back of this tour van, and they said, "Do you want a sandwich?" And I went, "Yeah, sure." And I took the sandwich and I bit into it, and I went, and it was peanut butter jelly time. I'd never had peanut butter and jelly before. It was jam, peanut butter and jam. And I suppose if I had been prepped for it, I might quite like it, but there was no preparation. It was just. Yeah, kind of ruined me. The same with lemongrass. I was in Laos on the River Mekong. Those were my stories start, like Rory Stewart. Well, clearly, when I was in Laos, obviously going down the Mekong with the family, and I was given a bowl, as they do there, of soup, and I didn't know what it was because it just pointed to something on the menu that looked nice, and it was pure lemongrass soup, and it tasted like someone had boiled some water and then squirted some lemon fairy washing up liquid into the water. And it made me, my eyes water. I was like, God, this is a bit lemony. So yes, that was a bit weird. So that put me off lemongrass for a long time. I think I'm sort of warming to it again now, many moons later, but it's taking a long time. Gareth T, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. Best valedictorian, the speech. Best speech was William McRaven. He said, "If you want to change the world, start by making your bed." Great speech, looking up. Okay, Gareth, thanks very much for that. And also, valedictorian. I don't know. I don't know. If someone wants to tell me how to pronounce it, that'd be great. And Alistair, thank you very much. Loved Beaker and Animal Rocked also. Yes, and I like singing. Do you remember Muppet Babies? It was the cartoon that was on Saturday mornings before going live. I like to sing that theme tune in my head whenever someone says Nepo Babies, and I change the word Muppet for Nepo. So it's Nepo Babies, we make our dreams come true. Which they do. And I like to sing that every time I see a Nepo baby on the front cover of a newspaper. And I'm like, oh, Nepo babies, we make our dreams come true. Doobie wop. Alistair says, stop singing, Grape. No, he doesn't. Right, chat. All the foods, chat. Let's see who starts a cooking YouTube channel from here. Let's see. That's great, that, Alistair. I'd love to. The problem is, to do a really good cooking channel, you kind of need one of those kitchens with a cooker in the middle of the kitchen. Like, and this is a small house. Like, our kitchen's quite small. So I don't think I could set the cameras up in a way that would allow us to see what I'm cooking and what I'm putting together, etc. I just don't think it would work, which is a bit sad, because I do love cooking. And one of my friends, Cliff, he did a show on YouTube where he cooked a dish. Once a week, he cooked a dish from every country in the world, one a week, in alphabetical order, which I love. I'd love to do that. Pick a dish but the thing is, if you make something for the first time, you usually fuck it up. It's when you get like some staples, like what Joanna was talking about there. She's got her staples. She's got a plan for making a curry paste, and she's got it in her head. She knows how to put it all together. When you're kind of following instructions, I fuck it up more times than I don't. In like a small way. I don't think I've ever made anything that's absolutely inedible. But yeah, when you're making something, you realise you should have put the oven on half an hour ago, and now you've got to wait. I don't know, whatever. Also, I hate the way you go on recipe sites and it gives you the life story of the person who's writing the recipe. It's like, before they can tell you how to make lemongrass soup, they say, when I was traveling down the Mekong 23 years ago, I had just discovered that the Queen Mum had died, and it was time to make Queen Mum jokes like, what's the difference between the Queen Mum and the Underground? The Underground got an extension for the Jubilee. Too soon? I said, come on, it was 23 years ago. It was funny at the time. Anyway, it was 2002. There was a Jubilee. It was a Jubilee year. Making your bed every day without fail is an excellent way to start the day. It teaches you a pattern that gives you small muscle fibers going and blood pumping naturally. So drip. Okay. Wholly recommend you suck at cooking if anyone needs a silly cooking channel. That sounds good. Strange English lyricist says, a Nepo baby is what they call me because my parents sent me away to school. Despite the fact I was full on academic bursary, I'm disabled and I'm poor. Sorry, Strange English lyricist, but you did get you were one of the very, very lucky few to get a full bursary. Only 1% of kids going to private schools these days get a full bursary. Things were a bit more liberal back in the old days, before the Tories took over. Ireland, says Wayne. Wayne, hi, how you doing? Come on the show tonight, Wayne. Come on the show. We're missing you. We're missing you and your foul mouth. Graham, you've got to at least make scouse. I do. There's a video of me making scouse. There's a couple of videos of me making scouse. There's one of me making scouse in Australia, and there's one of them which is called like how to make scouse. In fact, I will find it. And send it to you. Where I'm with top chef who appeared on Celebrity Chef Menu, whatever it's called. What's it called? Not Master Chef. The Great British Menu. I saw the Great British Menu. He's been on that a couple of times. But I'll have to find it. I'll probably see, when I changed this channel, because this is the channel I've had since 2006. I've had this channel 19 fucking years. When I changed it to Labour Social, I put all of the old travel videos and stupid videos, like short films and stuff, actor show reels. I put them all to unlisted. So you can't see them like what you're used to, which is sad. But if I go into Google and then go to YouTube and then go to YouTube Studio, I might be able to find you a video of me making scouse. Ori, thank you so much. That's really, really kind of you. Ori has just very, very generously gifted 5 Politics Social memberships to people. Thank you so much, Ori. You are the best. You're the best. You're the best. So, what have we got here? We've got Paul James, who has been gifted a gift membership. We've got Kay Bell. Oh, is that Kristen Bell? Did the voice of Anna from Frozen and was also in The Good Place, which is so good. Oh my God. If you want to watch a really good TV comedy that's very clever and existential and philosophical, The Good Place, Ted Danson. And, as the Scissor Sisters once sang, I don't feel like dancing. Kai is in there as well, has got a membership. We've also got The Good Globalist and Nick Smith, also given a gift membership, which is very, very kind of you. And let's have a look. Search across my channel. Scouse, how to make scouse. Here we go. Yeah, lovely. Right, it's on unlisted. I'm going to make it public again because I'm nice like that. Done. Okay. Save. How to make proper scouse. There you go. Who was asking for a video? Here you go, Wayne. Here's a video of me making scouse. Look at that. Look at that sexy video. Well, don't. Keep watching me now. Watch it later. That's me making scouse. That's the link there. I'll put the link in the chat. 2 large onions, 500 grams of beef or lamb, cubed, 500 grams of potatoes, and 250 grams of carrots. Hey, listen, by the way, this also includes blind scouts, which is the vegetarian version of scouts. So if you don't want to have meat in there, you can substitute it for something else, and it's still a traditional dish because the poor people of Liverpool used to eat blind scouts because they couldn't afford meat. True story. I fucking love The Good Place, says Noons. Yeah, I fucking love it as well. Holy forking shirt balls. I was threatened with being sent to a Roman Catholic school in Carlisle if I did not get into grammar school. Was a bit lazy in primary, but changed my ways to avoid the bloody monks, says Mr. Tisk. You don't want to be hanging out with monks. Monks are a bit weird. And One Aggie Pagan says, Jurassic World Rebirth looks really fucking good. I went to see dun 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 dun. I went to see that Carling Black Label ad with the squirrel last night, and it was really good. It was really good, except it was too long. It was there were scenes where it just got really, really ploddy, and they kept repeating themselves over and over again. And I'm like, yes, I've got it. He needs to take the MacGuffin and put the MacGuffin in the other MacGuffin, and then they've got to take this thing, and they've got to do this thing, and then they've got to plug the other MacGuffin in, and then all the MacGuffins work together, and that MacGuffin's the MacGuffin. And I'm like, I don't need to be told again. It's fine. It's really cool. And it's one of those films where, like, the action set pieces are fucking brilliant. They are really, really good. But I think it's let down a little bit by the pacing. It's like, I just want the action scenes. I just want it to go from one to the next without much sort of exposition in the middle, explaining once again the stakes. The stakes couldn't be higher. The stakes couldn't be higher. But it does a very neat job, I feel, of tying in the older movies all the way back to 1996's Mission Impossible, directed by Brian De Palma, I think. Then it was John Woo did the second one. Then it was J.J. Abrams did the third. Stacey Abrams was father. I wonder how she got a leg up in the music world. And then it was Brad Bird who did Ghost Protocol, which is the one where he's on the Burj Khalifa. I love Brad Bird. Brad Bird directed The Iron Giant, which is one of the best cartoons ever made. Actual proper cartoons. He also directed The Incredibles, which is one of the best Pixar movies by a mile. I'm not saying something because the quality of Pixar movies is very high. But then he did a film with George Clooney called Tomorrowland or something, and it was a huge flop. And I don't think he's done anything since. I don't know. Well, if he has, I haven't heard about it. All in a bag, says Joanna. All in the bag. Tom Baker was a wanky monk. What? Tom Baker was a Scouser. Came from Liverpool. We've had 2 Scouse Doctor Who's. How good is that? How is it that I learned what Scouse was from the Norwegian twat that is my podmace Jartan? The reason why is because Scouse comes from Norway. It comes from lobscouse, which is a Norwegian dish. It was brought over by Scandinavian sailors as a really good way of having a food that you could permanently reheat. This was the idea you'd have, because Liverpool is a incredibly tidal city. We have a tidal range of nearly 10 meters. You can only bring boats in and out at certain times of the day and night. And the time and tide literally wait for no man or ship. So you would have ships that have been at sea for 6 months. For 6 months eating nothing but ship's biscuit. and tiny rations of rum. And then they finally get onto dry land, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and they need food. And what is the best food for people who have just got off a ship and want something strong and nutritious and hearty, and that you can always reheat? You can just keep reheating it and keep reheating it for as long as the night is long. And it's scouse. It's stew. It's any kind of stew. You can just reheat it in a way that doesn't quite work with roast dinners. You can get away with it with roast dinners a little bit, but not really. Not really. There's a point where the vegetables just give up. So anyway, yeah, endlessly reheatable scouse. And that's why it got picked up by Liverpool and became the name of our accent, or the official name of our accent is scouse, which I think is really cool. Strange English lyricist says, boarding school is social care for children with rich parents who want to look good instead of neglecting criminal. Yeah, I call them posh borstalls. They're posh borstalls, like little prisons for posh kids to go to and write to their parents and say, why don't you love me? I'm going to take your lack of love out on the rest of the world when I grow up. Martin says, its origins are Nordic, Wayne, sailors and all that. It is. Tomorrowland was good, says Trip Trip. Yeah, well, I think it was. I've not seen it, but I've heard it was good, but it flopped at the box office. Tom Baker admitting to wanking under the cassock while doing prayers or whatever they do. That often gets me off like a Benedictine monk chanting prayers in Latin. Anne says, I said, but it's got Scarlett Johansson in it. He said it would take more than that. He's so picky. However, he did enjoy Thunderbolts and may watch Fantastic Four First Steps when it comes out. I thought Thunderbolts was quite good. Apparently, they're saying it's a flop, but that they're only quoting the numbers in America. I think it'll probably make its money back. But I don't feel like these films need to spend so much money making the film. They spend too much money making the films. If they plan them better, you could do them a lot cheaper, I feel. Oh, Stephanie, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. May I send the link for huge trans safety petition? Yes, you may, Stephanie, but you need to send it to me because I think I'm the only one who can actually put links in here. So if you want to be really clever, if you want to go to Graham David Hughes, we could do this while I'm online. I'm going to do a slightly longer show today. If you go to grahamdavidhughes.com, let's just put the HTTPS. If you go to that link there, if you click on that and then go to the bottom of the page, there is a contact form there if the website's working. And you'll be able to email me. And then you can email me the link. And once I get that link, I'll put it up on here before they go. So just let me know once it's sent, if you would, Stephanie. That'd be really cool. Was Harry Enfield offensive to Scousers, says Elle. I didn't find it offensive. I found it funny. Like, I mean, I think there's stuff that you don't joke about when it comes to Liverpool. Hillsborough being the big one. But if it's friendly banter, I'm not that arsed. I'm really not. And I can't speak for everyone in Liverpool, but I thought it was a good piss take. It was a funny piss take of your archetypal Scouser. So no, I didn't personally find it offensive. Maybe some people did, but I don't know if there'll be much fun at parties. Strange English Services says, exactly right, Graham. It is. You will not believe some of them people I was at school with. They were messed up then. They are messing up everyone now. Yeah, they're taking it out. They're taking it out on everybody else. They're taking out their miserable childhood when they were neglected by their parents. They're taking it out on everyone else. Wayne Maker, Thunderbolts is okay. Not the best, but it's set up. It's the best one they've done for a long time. I enjoyed it a lot more than anything I think that I've watched apart from the Spider-Man movies since Endgame. How do you click? How do you click your fingers when you're wearing a metal glove? How do you? That's what the whole thing was. He needed all those magical gems and stuff, the magic MacGuffins, to be able to click in a glove made of gold. July is going to be a good month. Jurassic World, Rebirth, and lots of anime that I've been very excited for, which sounds cool. I've put out so many thoughtful, well-crafted comments, but Graham reads out the weird, random ones. I'm sorry, and I try and scan them for people that are not just having a chat with each other, because I keep doing this thing where I'll jump into the chat, and like someone's halfway through a conversation about something random, and I'm like, so I try. Do you know what would be good? And if someone wants to volunteer to be my producer, just saying, unpaid, 35 hours a week, edit me videos, put them on TikTok, tell me which comments are good, highlight them for me. Anyone wants to volunteer, you're all very welcome. You're all very welcome to give up your time to help my channel. No takers? No, that's a shame. And yes, I'm just checking. Here. Okay, I've not got the. I'm just checking if we've got the email yet. Just refreshing my emails. But yeah, if you can get that link to me, I will put it into the chat. But first of all, we're going to go over to the newspapers. Dun, dun, dun. Here we go. Okay, so we have the Guardian here. Saint Etienne. They call it a day after 35 years. I saw them at the Roxy. Is it the Roxy in Manchester? I think it was the Roxy. I liked Saint Etienne. They were really good. We're stopping at our prime. Saint Etienne, call it a day after 35 years. They could just do gigs and get money. Why would they call it a day? I don't know. REM called it a day. Don't know why they did that either. And there's a new movie called The Salt Path with Gillian Anderson and Jason Isaacs. Sounds interesting. Let's go see that. Let's go see that movie. Let's go together. Come on, everyone, pile in the cinema. Let's go. Protests as ministers prepare to sign values-free Gulf states deal. This is the front page story. And also, if you go onto the Guardian website today, this is the main story on the Guardian webpage. I'm going to be talking about this with Phil later on at 1 o'clock. Just making a note. So yeah, we'll leave that till then. But it's supposed to be a trade agreement which has got minimum wording on human rights and on the environment. Then we've got Israel plans sweeping West Bank settlement. It's got to establish 22 settlements on the West Bank. So this is in addition to the shit that is pulling in Gaza. It's basically just taking over the whole of that area. It's taken over the whole of that area. I mean, it's just taking over the whole of Palestine, but on both parts of it, the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, and they're making no bones about it. They're just declaring this is what they're going to do. They're going to annex the whole area and create Greater Israel, and the people in that country who are Muslim or Palestinian who just don't like it are going to be murdered. It's a genocide. It's an absolute genocide, and the fact that they're being able to get away with it because the knobhead in the White House doesn't give a fuck. That is, to me, the real issue at the heart of all this is the fact that there's no one to stop them. So this is what people like Netanyahu do when the guardrails are off. Pardon me. So and then there's a picture of Paul Doyle, 53, from West Derby, Liverpool. By the way, Liverpool's a small place, so there's friends of mine, people I know who know his wife or know him. Not good. Who's buying Liverpool's most expensive homes? I don't know. Don't care. Reeves ready. Piss off advert. Reeves ready to rip up spending rules in Red Wall splurge. Rachel Reeves is preparing to tear up a Treasury spending rules and announce billions of pounds of spending in the North and Midlands to combat the threat of reform. Oh, good. Law chief in Nazi jibe at Tories and Refug. Hermer attacks pick and mix attitude to the European Court of Human Rights. This is Keir Starmer's chief legal officer. He's likened Tory and Reform politicians who want to pull out of international courts to Nazis. Hey, listen, I would never say anything like that on this channel. He said facetiously. And parents really do know best when their child is sick. Doctors should always trust a parent's gut instinct that their child is becoming severely ill, research suggests, after finding that it's a much better indicator of health than medical tests, which is understandable. We now have a law in this country, we now have a new rule in this country where you can, by law, get a second opinion if your child is in hospital. That was after the death of a little girl who died from complications after just falling off her bike. She just fell off her bike. And it was a bank holiday weekend. They didn't have the right specialists caring. And she passed away, which is awful. But now that the law has actually changed, so that's good. I wish it hadn't taken that for it to change. I'm on a mission from God, says some dickhead. And then face of cop parade suspect. See, they don't use his mugshot, do they? Former Royal Marine. That's how they introduce him. Former Royal Marine. It would have been like Islamic extremist, wouldn't it? If he had been Muslim. 7 offences, including GBH and dangerous driving. Then we have the middle-class former Royal Marine charged over Liverpool parade horror. Middle-class, middle-aged, white man. I'm sure he just had a moment of madness, didn't he? Funny how terrorists, people who aren't white, don't have moments of madness. They're just evil. Kemi blasts race to the bottom on welfare handouts. Exclusive in the Mail. Failing Tory leader takes aim at Farage and Starmer for asking taxpayers to fund unlimited child support for others. So you're getting a lot of posh people who can afford children now saying, I didn't see why I should have to pay for other people's children. Fuck you, I say. I have to pay for other people's children all the time. I have to pay for their education. I have to pay for the massive government subsidies that their posh kids who go to these posh private schools, they get from our government. The amount of money that they defer on tax that they should be paying. The amount of money that could be made from that structure, from that building being utilised as something else, something commercial, we don't get because all these schools are apparently charities, So they dodge tax. They don't have to be Ofsted inspected. They don't have to follow the national curriculum. They don't even have to have qualified teachers working there. They can have qualified paedophiles, unqualified paedophiles. They don't care. Anyone can work in a private school. It's fucking disgusting. It's fucking disgraceful. The duty of care of these schools is just not there. It's just not there because it's optional at the moment. I know Labour are changing this now. But the fact that they didn't have to have Ofsted inspections, fuck off. That's just to the pleb schools. But yeah, I've got to pay for other people's children. So why shouldn't everyone else? Why shouldn't rich people pay for other people's children? If someone has the ability to have kids and they want to have kids, fucking have kids. I mean, we need them. We need more children. This weird thing of these right-wing bigots who are like simultaneously saying no one who isn't a millionaire should be allowed to have children because they can't afford it. And at the same time, they say that they don't want people from other countries to come over to help look after our aging population, many of whom from the boomer generation, and just to make very, very clear while I talk about this, not all boomers. Many of the people in the boomer generation are absolutely taking the piss as far as I'm concerned because they retired in their 50s and now they're in their 80s. They've been not working for over 30 years on a final salary pension. Someone's paying that. It's not them. It's not the money they saved up in the 30 years that they worked at their job that they actually did for 30 years. But they're getting 60 years worth of pay for doing 30 years worth of work. And I'll tell you this now, if you worked down a coal mine until the 1990s, you're not getting that kind of payout. If you worked in financial services though, oh yeah, quid's in. But then as soon as it comes to their care, is it, well, God, we're going to have to sell the family home. Don't want to do that to pay for the care. I know, we'll just gift the family home to the kids and get the taxpayer to pay for my care. But I don't want anyone to actually be here to give it. Even if there's enough money in the public purse to look after me in my old age, I don't want anyone who's available. I don't want there to be any young people born in this country, and I don't want there to be any immigrants either. It's a very strange point of view. It's a very strange point of view that these people have. But what can I say? Not all boomers, that's all I can say. I've not got anything in my inbox yet from the Odyssey Expeditions site. So if you were going to send that link to me, please hurry up and send it. Always a pleasure, never a chore. Right, okay, so let's get on with it. We've got We've got a really messed up picture of Farage and Truss mashed together on the front cover of the Mirror. That's enough to give you nightmares. And it looks a bit like one of Harry Enfield's characters, doesn't it? And then we've got Gaza. I feel better now than I have for a long time, which is really good news. Gaza's suffered, not all boomers, not all Gazas. Gaza has suffered from alcoholism and other addictions for a very, very long time, and it's really good to see him sort of back, hopefully, on the straight and narrow. Because he seems like an all right guy. I don't know him personally, but he doesn't seem like a monster. He may have said and done some stupid things in the past, but haven't we all? Haven't we all? And then 7 charges. 53-year-old former Royal Marines commando due in court today. We've covered that. The pathetic France stops less than 40% of channel migrants. Good. I mean, that 40% is pretty good, isn't it? I don't think they've got any responsibility to catch any of them. We used to have a deal where we could send people back who were coming over on boats to France. So no one came here on a boat. Literally no one came here on a boat. In 2017, there's like 2 people came on a boat. In 2016, no one came on a boat. This has only happened because we pulled out the Dublin 3 agreement. NHS rolls out world's first cancer test. Breakthrough means patients get targeted treatment faster. A revolutionary blood test for cancer is being rolled out on the NHS in a world first. That's good. I like it when newspapers list all the things that cause or cure cancer. Then we've got the Daily Telegraph here. 60 years on, does Darling still have the power to shock? What? Alistair Darling? And then we've got Man United suffer on Asia Tour de Farce. Okay. Father of 3. So he's presented as a father of 3. Charged with Liverpool parade rampage. They haven't used his they haven't used his mugshot, and they haven't mentioned his political ideology. If he had been a pro-Palestinian supporter, I bet they would have mentioned it. Pro-Palestinian supporter, and he's there looking grim in his mugshot. Pro-Palestinian supporter votes to kill people. But that's not what it says. If I ran this newspaper, it would say reform voter, not father of 3. Reform voter charged with Liverpool parade rampage. That's what I would put. Calls to quit ECHR like rise of Nazism. This is the Attorney General. Warns critics that rejection of international law resembles 1930s Germany, which I absolutely agree with that on. There's a story here about there's a story here. PIP disability claimants in key Labour areas at greatest risk of welfare cuts. Disability benefit claimants in Labour heartland constituencies look set to be hardest hit by a plan to restrict welfare, according to the data that reveal potential impact of reforms, which goes against what was reported in one of the other papers about them relaxing their fiscal rules and giving more money to the north. I mean, I think that there's going to be a revolt against this in the Labour Party. We talked about this on the channel before. I think there'll be a revolt. I don't think it's going to go through. But even if it doesn't go through, I think it's really, really shit. I think it's really shitty of the Labour Party to be putting people in this position, stressing them out, making people feel like they won't get their PIP anymore. They don't need to do this. They don't need to do this. They don't need to upset people needlessly. Metro newspaper here. We've got the end of the world is nigh. Starmer's dire warning as refuck threat grows. Yes, he will be the end of Britain as we know it, of course, because he is Britain Trump. And then we've got the Financial Times here. Red alert. Europe laws top academics. Please do it. Take them. Bring them here, somewhere they can be safe. Bring them to Europe, somewhere they can be safe. Just do it. Don't even think about it. Just do it. I've still not got this link. If the link is going to get sent to me, you've got about 4 more minutes to send it. So if you go to grahamdavidhughes.com and send the link, I'm just going to refresh my inbox. God, I hate refreshing inboxes. Remember refreshing inboxes? Remember when you used to have to do that? No, still nothing come through, I'm afraid. Okay, so just check it's not gone to my spam. There we go. Hang on, it might have gone to my spam. No, it doesn't. But Glastonbury Adidas football shirts are out today. Yay. Cool. Glastonbury Adidas football shirts, fucking corporate crossover. What's it called? They've sold out. Do you remember when we were kids and it was a big thing to sell out? Like if people sold out, if an artist, a musician, singer, songwriter, whatever, if someone sold out, that was seen as the worst thing you could possibly do. And now it's all about the sponsorship. It's funny that, isn't it? Funny how things change. Anyway, so red alert. Trump has been kicking all the top academics out of America, and I think we should say, yeah, we'll have them. Trump vows to fight on in trade war after court rules tariff blitz is illegal. Nothing has changed, says aide. Quest for deals continues. Markets believe levies will not be halted. Well, they weren't, because the appeals court has actually halted the halt on the levies, on the taxes, on the tariffs that Trump is putting on. So, yay! This is why you put in all your own judges across the country. You get Trump loyalists all over the country in America to get the judiciary on side. And then anyone who opposes you can say, oh, they're unelected. Unelected judiciary. They're unelected. Make a big thing about the fact that they're unelected. Although some are elected. In some places in America, they do elect judges, which I think is mad. But, you know, it's what they do. And then we've got Ryanair boss O'Leary poised to take place in history with £100 million bonus. Jesus, how could you spend that much money? Diz says, don't panic. I put the link in the chat. Oh, cool. Oh, cool. Thank you, Diz. It's very kind of you. And Vendetta says, I got a small raise in Universal Credit next month. And when I say small, I mean small. Yes, it's not been great, has it? I have one kid starting college in the fall. It's terrifying, says Josh. I can imagine. Oh, there you go. Stephanie White. I've sent it twice, Graham, and Diz put it in the chat. Oh, yes, it just arrived. It just arrived then. And it's one of those things where it says, new message from grahamdavidhughes.com. And it was sent 17 minutes ago. 17 minutes ago. That is kind of crazy. That is just nuts, isn't it? Anyway, not in our name. Oh, yeah, this is the one. So there you go. I've put it into the chat there. This is the change.org link. I think I shared this when we were doing the James Bond show with me and Rachel. I think I shared it on that. So yes, I will share it again. It's got 13,000 signatures so far. It'd be great to get that up to 100,000. So please share it. And thank you very much for the super chat as well. Thank you. Yeah, what else have we got in the chat? I'm trying to see. Is that a rump watch? No, it's Shop Hard. Just people who spend money on watches. How do they have so much money and they don't want to do some good with it? Why don't they make a child's playground or something? Why do they need to buy a fucking expensive watch? Like, why do they have to buy a personalised number plate? Like, why does anyone have to buy a personalised number plate? Please explain it to me. I'm someone whose brother has a personalised number plate. My dad used to have a personalised number plate. I'm just like, if you've got the money, why don't you buy something good? Is that a way of displaying to everybody else on the road that you might be a wanker? Katie was asking for cis men to start Not in My Name plus for men to sign. Ooh, that would be good. Yes, I think we should definitely do that. Not in our name. Yes, I'm going to write that down. Not in our name for men. You know, though, if you do that, you'll get loads of turfy people, loads of germs saying, oh, but you're a man, you're a white cisgender man, oh, you're telling women what to do, you're telling women what to think again, and all that kind of shit. But yeah, we can fight back. Grimfang says there was a Facebook post from the Metro about a woman sharing her experience, lots of positive comments, rare for Facebook. The petition seems to be shaping the narrative. That's great, that's absolutely fantastic. And honestly, if you haven't watched the music video yet for Germ by Kate Nash, it is absolutely fucking stonking. I really, really recommend it. I'm gonna share that as well. Kate Nash Jam. I've already shared this a few times, but I'm gonna do it again. It's quite intense. The video is quite intense, and you got to be a grown up to see it. So no kids, please. Don't share it with the kids. But my God, I'd love to hear this on Radio 1. And there you go. Has Gary Garner been timed out? What did Gary Garner do? I don't know. We'll give him a bye-bye, idiot troll. Hey, bye. Can't say anything anymore. Woo. Trip says, the things people buy astounds me. The selfishness imposed ignorance this capitalist society asks of us. It demands that we shut our eyes and only want things for ourselves and family. Yeah. I don't know. I think I've got really upset about this in the last couple of years because the left obviously has a huge problem with creating content, because in order to create engaging content that people actually want to give super chats to and stuff like that, you kind of need to have a team behind you. And so it's not just a case of like one person working for £11,000 a year, if that, to get the channel off the ground. You're talking about 2 or possibly 3 people all working for a share of that. So if you can work for £3,000 a year to get a channel off the ground, great. If you can't, you're not going to get a channel off the ground. It's as simple as that. It's a lot of work. Editing, doing the thumbnails, doing the prep for the shows, all that kind of stuff. And I'm not belly aching and kind of like, oh my God, there's so much work for me. You know, I can do it. It's fine. Like, you know, I can get on with this stuff. I take it in my stride. I like it. I enjoy this. I enjoy talking to you. But I can see how difficult it is. The right do not have this difficulty. The right can go up to anyone who's rich and say, give me money and I'll make videos about how we shouldn't give money to anyone but the rich. I just got disconnected. Sorry. Johnny from Airplanes just unplugged me and then plugged me back in again. So if you missed what I was saying there, I was just talking about how the fact that if you are on the right, you can get a million people, a million millionaires to give you money to get the channel started. And once it's going, once you've got a massive audience, once you've got 500,000 viewers, you can keep going. Another problem on the left is that we don't have any sort of influencers that talk about to young men about bettering themselves. The right do. They've got an unstoppable fucking pipeline of those motherfuckers. But if you're a young man and you're looking for advice in the world and you're not getting it from your parents and you're looking at the internet for how to talk to girls, how to improve their bodies, how to improve their diet, financial advice, etc. It's all the fucking right wingers. And there's nothing against. Our side just aren't doing it. And it's not our fault that our side aren't doing it, because it just comes down to money. We can't live off fresh air. We can't live off exposure. And so, yeah, I get particularly animated about this fact. I feel like if I had the money, I wouldn't be spending it on personalized number plates. I would be spending it on talent, left-wing talent on the internet, and making sure that they have enough to fucking eat and keep doing what they're doing, because we need them. I'm talking about myself here, but you know, other people who are starting off there. If you see something in someone and you're like, fucking hell, you're really good at this, you can get people on side. People keep talking about having a Joe Rogan of the left or a Nigel Farage of the left or whatever. We're never going to find them. Because the only reason I can do this is because I'm white, middle-aged, middle class, and I've got an understanding girlfriend, an understanding partner. That's the reason I can do it. And also, you know, the skills that I've picked up over a lifetime of doing this kind of shit, making content. I've been making content for the internet since 1998. Okay, so fucking hell, I'm old. But I've been making content for the internet since before YouTube existed. I was making comedy sketches in university, filming them on digital tapes, comedy sketches. With some people who have gone on to like great things now, you know, nominated for BAFTAs and shit. But I was doing that in 1998. So all the technical side comes as it's just second nature to me. But I think I might have said this the other day when I packed up to go to Liverpool, when I went to Brighton, I made a list of all the things I needed to take. And it was like, it's like about fucking 47 different things. And if I forgot one of those things, I couldn't do the show. And it would come down to things like a dongle like this. Like, if I didn't take this dongle with me, I couldn't do it. I would have to bodge something together. It wouldn't look as professional. It wouldn't look as well put together. And having to have all that in your mind and having to be able to, talk about what's going on in the news and also converse with the chat and also keep an eye on all the technical stuff. It's not something that everyone can do. And I'm not blowing smoke up my own arse here and going, aren't you amazing, Graham? Big up me. I'm saying it is difficult, and it's even more difficult if you're not getting any fucking money for doing it, which is the situation that a lot of left-wing content creators find themselves in. So they'll make about 3 videos, they'll spend a lot of time making them, they get like 87 views, and that'll be it. They'll give up. They'll give up. We need to stop doing this. We need to make sure that if there's anyone, and I'm not sure if they exist, but if there are anyone, a unicorn that is both rich and left-wing and wants to sponsor, water the weeds coming up, the grass, water the flowers, the million flowers of content that people can make. And this is something that I don't think is out of the realms of feasibility. But you look at the other side, GB News has lost £100 million since it started. £100 million, peeps. £100 million. They've thrown £100 million at a channel that routinely platforms Nigel Farage, Jacob Rees-Mogg, and now Boris Johnson. Gives them an opportunity to speak to fucking everyone in the nation. Meanwhile, on the left, we get no support whatsoever, and Labour doesn't even have a fucking account on Blue Sky or on Threads. Anyway, like and subscribe. Good Law Project. I've got all the gear, so I'm going to be starting a YouTube show very soon. You've been warned. Politics. Oh, brilliant! Good luck with it. Would you say the left isn't as united as the right? I'm thinking the likes of Owen Jones. He got a lot of slack from the left, and we have a single narrative we can follow or agree on. You're right, but neither does the right, really. I mean, the right fights amongst itself. Look at Nigel Farage and Tommy Ten Names. They both had like a march on the same fucking day in different parts of London. They fucking hate each other. And then look at Farage and then the Tories. Like, I know that Generic wants to do a deal with refuck, but a lot of old school Tories absolutely hate refuck. So they're not united. But the difference is they've got the money and they have the rich people who want to invest in them, because if they invest in Nigel Farage, if they invest in Gammon Box News, if they invest in these media outlets and these dickheads, gobs on sticks, if they invest in them, they know that down the line they will have to pay less tax in the future, because they want to shift the Overton window to the right. There is no financial incentive for someone who is rich to sponsor people who are left-wing. And this is why they don't do it. There is no return on investment. If you're right-wing, there is a definite, clear return on investment in getting people to vote for Trump, because Trump comes in, he puts tax cuts in, makes them permanent, you pay less tax. You've got billions more to spend each year on cocaine, hookers, yachts, swans to swipe your bum on, or whatever the fuck rich people spend their money on, personalised number plates. They've got the money to do that, right? And now they've got extra money because of the money that they've invested in getting their twats into power. The left don't do that, because the left, I mean, we have collective power in terms of like the trade unions and stuff, but that's all got to be accounted for. You can't take money off people who have got very little and offer them like just random mad shit in return that might work or might not work. And so, because there's no return on investment, no millionaire in this country or any country by the looks of things wants to invest in left-wing media, which is a huge problem, which is why it comes down to you and me to help wherever we can. You know, I'll help any other channel that wants someone to help out with the production where I can, which I've done on other people's channels, as you know. And I'm not in a position really to help financially, but if I was, oh my God, I would. because I don't see the be all and end all of life as paying less tax. I'd rather have a beautiful, amazing, interesting planet for the children of the future to see. You know, and I don't care. I don't care about paying a bit less tax. But what will happen is if you do get a left-wing millionaire, they'll have one thing that they care about. So it might be fucking pylons or grouse farming or whatever. It'll just be like one particular interest that they have for animals usually. And they'll give all their money to the animal shelter. They'll give all their money to that one cause rather than taking a step back and seeing it more in a holistic way and going, how can we make everything better for everyone? Which is what I want to do. That's what I want to see for everyone. Not just my generation, not just my family, not just my friends, not just the people I share this island with, not just the people I share this continent with. I mean, everyone. I want everyone's life to be improved in my lifetime. And you know what? Until fairly recently, everyone's lives were getting improved. Not because of me. It's just something I want. It's not something I can have any real say in doing. But that's what I like to see. And in the last few years, it has slowed down. It is in many places, it's regressing. Because the right wing, the rich, the oligarchs have taken over. They're now calling the shots across the world, politically, socially, and they've done it by capturing the means of communication. They own all the papers, they own the social media networks, and whatever they say goes. So you will have a situation like on X, where if you put the word like trans or gender in there, it will be flagged up as hate speech. Whereas if you put some disgusting ethnic slur or some racial slur on there, oh, it's fine. Because of the mentality of the people running it. So there you go. Right, years ago, L says, my stepfather was rich but didn't spend. He got a tax hit on top of regular tax because his money wasn't circulating in the system. So it was well within the government's ability to get payout from the rich. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's usually when money moves that they can actually take money off people, when it's sort of, hidden away in a mattress somewhere. Richie Goss says, a couple of left-wing creators, Speech Prof is really good, and Red Flag Guy. I discovered some American ones last night. Need to find the names and share. In America, they've got Nebula, which operates across state lines. I mean, we can get that in this country as well, which was set up by creatives. I think that we need a British version of it. I think we need a British version of Nebula, so we're not beholden to the algorithm, and I can continue making live shows, which I want to do, which are completely reliant on your super chats. I mean, the amount we make on these shows through the advertising is negligible. But you know what? You've given me far, I mean, easily enough for one morning. I'll be back so thank you. I'll be back at 1 o'clock with Phil Morehouse. We'll be talking about what's been going on in Britain this week in politics. We'll be talking about what Labour are doing, their response to refuck, Nigel Farage being a dickhead. And we're going to be talking about this new deal that's been put through, this new trade deal between the UK and the Arabs, the Gulf states, which are looks a bit problematic. Worth 1.3 billion, I think. Maybe. And then 1 p.m. intersection. Yes. No, intersection? No, it's the agenda. Nick and Diff. Agenda at 1 o'clock. And then I'll be back tonight for the Friday night social with our friends Mike Dix and others. And we'll be back at 9:30 for that. So please look out for it. And in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being such a wonderful community. Thanks for taking care of each other and looking out for each other. If you want to head over to the Discord server, if you are a member, all you need to do is go and have a look on the posts that I've posted on this channel. There's a members only post that'll give you a link to the Discord server, and you should be able to join it that way. So until next time, I'll say thank you so much for watching. Give us a like on the way out. Don't forget, we always like a like on this channel, And until next time, I'll say hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.